So what you're telling me, UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real?
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Contrary to his facial hair and choice of color, that is not a stockbroker pirate. That is Lou Elizondo, the former head of the government's task force on UFOs. UFOs are less of a mystery than that facial hair. Before he saw UFOs, it was black. He had to unbutton his shirt that wide just to make room. Knowing this guy looked into the mirror and did that to himself, you have to ask if he's trustworthy. That facial hair is like a big comma giving us pause. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Off the Cuff. On the top of the short-ass list that is good things to come from the pandemic is this mandatory UFO disclosure that's coming on June 25th. And that Marco Rubio snuck into the latest relief legislation. That's the face of a dude that's sick of not hanging out with the cool kids, and he's fighting back. I love it. And it's all because of COVID. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Best pandemic ever. There have been a lot of silver linings, but UFO disclosure may take the cake, potentially beating out mRNA technology, Tesla stock, happy hour at the dog park, dog money, everyone's new podcast setup, the schadenfreude of watching all your single friends get in relationships and move in together. Trevor Noah's hair. It's big, the hair and the disclosure. So let's talk about it. Who's disclosing what? Why are we getting it now? Some game theory reasons why it should be kept a secret, and some reasons why it could benefit humanity beyond measure.
Real quick, today's video is sponsored by MagicMind.
It's these little drinks. It helps your brain work. These little shots have a bunch of nootropics. It's got matcha, ceremonial grade. It has L-theanine and other adaptogens that are supposed to calm stress. Here's what I notice after drinking them. I feel like I'm in the mood to work, but I don't have that kind of coffee stomach. Sometimes when I have an early meeting or something stressful in the morning, I really lower my coffee intake because it gives me even more jitters and makes me kind of nervous and sweat. And there's been a couple of days like that where I had less coffee. My stomach felt better and actually felt great and alert and less jittery, and just kind of forgot about the stress. This thing is actually kind of blowing up in Silicon Valley. Forbes called it Silicon Valley's new morning elixir. They also called it motivation in a bottle. Anyway, with my link and code Emmett20, you can get 20% off. And so give it a shot. It's all natural ingredients. It's super healthy. It makes you feel good. They're really good. I can tell you these do work. So if you have a big meeting or something and you want to be present but not jittery, MagicMind.
Okay, back to the video.
First, I'd like to reiterate what Lou Elizondo said at the beginning. Can we move beyond the idea that disclosure is going to happen? It's happened.
There are scores and scores of occurrences that are reported. And not only that, our technology has gotten much better on airplanes, and they can take pictures of these things. And we've got some stunningly good pictures of them. Are they a threat? I don't know, but I do know that we can't turn our heads and pretend they don't exist, because they do exist.
That's disclosure. That's Senator Harry Reid talking about images that are stunningly good. Images we obviously have not seen yet. These images are good. I wouldn't call them stunningly good. Is a senator not good enough? Okay, I see you're senator and I raise you a president.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved.
By the way, some of this footage is from like 2004. The government better have a mind-blowing disclosure, or it's going to feel like they're finally acknowledging the existence of the iPhone 6. There's rumor there could be an iPhone 6S. Okay, so who's doing the disclosing? It's going to come straight from the Office of the Director of National Security and the Department of Defense, which is cool because usually it comes from like this kid.
They would pick me up out of the bed and they would bring me aboard their glowing spaceship.
Or Kesha.
All I want for Christmas is us all to meditate and try to channel extraterrestrials.
Or Tucker.
The advanced Tic Tac UFO has been tracked by American military intel services for at least 70 years.
And it's impossible to take any of these people seriously. That's the problem with a topic like this. For every one reputable account, there's 1,000 ridiculous ones. So even the reputable accounts are not taken seriously.
Edgar D. Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the moon.
I happen to be privileged enough to have be in on the fact that we have been visited on this planet. And the UFO phenomenon is real, although it's been covered up by our governments for quite a long time.
Paul Hellyer was Canada's National Defence Minister.
During the Cold War, 1961, there were about 50 UFOs in formation, and they investigated for 3 years, and they decided that with absolute certainty that 4 different species, at least, had been visiting this planet for thousands of years.
That's an astronaut and a national defense minister. That's disclosure. But those people were maybe not acting in an official capacity. This is an official announcement report from the government. So what's going to be in this report? According to CNN's Harmeet Kaur, that report must contain detailed analysis of UFO data and intelligence collected by the Office of Naval Intelligence, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, and the FBI. It should also describe in detail, quote, an interagency process for ensuring timely data collection and centralized analysis of all unidentified aerial phenomena reporting for the federal government, end quote, and designate an official responsible for that process. Finally, the report should identify any potential national security threats posed by UFOs and assess whether any of the nation's adversaries could be behind such activity. Yes, please, let's put to bed one of the craziest theories that keeps popping up.
Could it be Russian or Chinese technology?
I don't see why not.
Are you kidding me?
Imagine a technology that can do 600 to 700 G-forces, that can fly at 13,000 miles an hour, that it can evade radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And, oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet still can defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity. That's precisely what we're seeing.
These things have been observed for hundreds of years with very specific documentation since the 40s. You think China could have this tech since the 40s, or even the last 20 years, and not have conquered the world with it, or even apparently made a single dollar? Maybe it's not aliens, but it is not China. How dumb would it be for the report to say, yeah, it could be China? Then China's over there going, they think we have alien tech? We should be negotiating way stronger. Wow, we really did not need to release that virus. Okay, look, if they're not aliens, what are they?
Refracted light, weather balloons, a rocket being launched, Venus.
Venus? Come on. That's as crazy as
a laser pointer, an airplane toilet flush. My friend once threw a frisbee we never found.
So anyway, why now?
The reason that we had so much secrecy is people acknowledged that they couldn't understand what it was all about. And rather than make people afraid, they just ignored it, hoping it would go away.
They treated UFOs like STDs.
There are so many occurrences now because people who are flying airplanes are no longer afraid of telling people what they saw.
Pilots are coming forward specifically because Harry Reid reinstated the UAP task force that encourages pilots to come forward with these types of sightings. And it's not just the United States that's waking up to this UFO-fueled Me Too movement.
Other countries, including France, have done work trying to figure this out. And I'm confident China has. I'm confident that Russia, which is run by former head of the KGB. I'm sure they're doing work on it.
China is making big investments at the moment to identify extraterrestrial life as a part of their military mission, essentially a new modern-day space race.
A race to see who can schmooze these aliens the best? Like, we're showing up with lasagna, like, hey, we're America. We just wanted to introduce ourselves. We know lasagna is Italian. We've taken it.
You're right, Jackie. And not only that, they've just announced they've established a new UAP task force similar to ours, and they're using artificial intelligence to do this. We also know that there's a play by them to try to lead this conversation at the United Nations.
What would China do to woo the aliens? Have you had soup dumplings? Oh my God, we're screwed. Well, how do they feel about funnel cake? That could put us in the lead. Turns out these sightings come in waves, and they might be staggered in a way that implies intelligence. This statistician plotted the waves, and there's a pattern that predicts the next wave will happen in October 2035.
These waves follow a law to the power of 2.04, to be very precise. Since external intelligence could be behind these waves, and behind this control theory is the notion of learning theory.
The basic idea is that humanity gradually comes to accept the existence of aliens, kind of like a frog in a slowly boiling pot of water, except in that one, the frog dies. But look at this graph. Looks familiar? This is exactly what's happening with technology. Maybe the aliens are trying to time our acceptance of their existence with our technological progress when it gets to the point of being too dangerous for us to control, or good enough to discover them on our own. 2035 seems like pretty good timing for a galactic big brother to step in and save us from AI or biotech or some other technological existential threat. Or maybe the government just wants to get ahead of it and not be one-upped by some kid with an action cam. Check out my videos for Insta360 in the description. Boom, what a segue. Insta360, chase adventure and aliens. That's their new slogan. Okay, serious. Let's get serious. There are some legitimate reasons why this could be stupid for a government to admit whether they know or they don't know. Either way is bad. In the US, it makes perfect sense to keep it hidden because we're not fond of aliens. We build walls. If you think people are going apeshit over Mexicans taking jobs, wait until Fox News announces there's a caravan of dirty Alpha Centaurians coming straight for us, each one of whom can telepathically do the work of an entire company while literally sleeping. If it is just a glitch in the radar, it could still be safer to keep our cards close to our chest. What if China does have some technological military advantage and they're just holding back because they think we might be part of some alien federation? Or maybe we've just signed an NDA with the aliens in exchange for tech, and their legal team, come on, they're out of this world. I'm sorry. I truly apologize. Of course, it's possible that revealing the existence of an extraterrestrial presence could benefit humanity in more ways than we can possibly imagine. And even the ones we can imagine are pretty awesome. Bigelow Aerospace, run by this man who could be Deuce Bigelow's magician father, is the company the US government paid to study some pretty far out topics.
Limitless, free, environmentally impact-free energy that we could tap into, whether it's anti-gravity or something beyond even photonic propulsion, teleportation, or something of that nature, such that we could sort of master the physical universe in ways that we can't even dream so far, which would move us well past fossil fuels and solar energy and nuclear power to limitless, abundant energy for all that can do things so far beyond what we're able to do now.
And hey, beyond technology, maybe it'll help humanity on a psychological level.
We can also develop a sense of modesty, because right now we think that we are the smartest. And in fact, along human history, we thought that we are at the center of the physical universe, that the sun revolves around the earth. And eventually we realized that we are not at the center of the physical universe. The Earth moves around the Sun, and the Sun moves around the center of the Milky Way galaxy, and the Milky Way galaxy is moving in some random direction in a universe that is full of such galaxies. So we have no special position in the universe. Nevertheless, many scientists still prefer to believe that we are at the center of the biological universe, the living universe, that life is unique to Earth, and in particular, intelligent life is unique to Earth. And I think one way by which we can become modest is by collecting evidence about what is going on out there.
It's hard to continue fighting in someone's Facebook comments when you find out we're not alone in the universe. When you're part of a galactic federation of sentient beings that stretches into an infinite universe, it's a little more petty, bickering about is pie better than cake? Is a hot dog a sandwich? We're not alone in the universe. How about that? Okay, that's the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know everybody's got an opinion on this. I don't know if it's aliens, but I just don't think it's human tech. Let me know what you think. I just found out like 60% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, and I've had a bunch of comments when people are subscribed that say they haven't been notified. And I think YouTube goes through and like unchecks the bell notification every once in a while, so go check that the bell is turned on and you'll never miss a video. Thanks to MagicMind for sponsoring today's video. Enhance your cognition without increasing cortisol levels or stress hormones. You could drink it alongside your BDE coffee and help kids get prosthetic limbs.
I don't always promote the Patreon because it feels weird mentioning that at the end of a vlog or a tech review, but if you guys like the Nia the Curve, which have higher production value and there's joke writing and a bunch of research, I get comedians, YouTubers, tech CEOs, special effects, and more. It's Last Week Tonight for tech, it's The Daily Show for futurism. I love to make them. There is nothing in this genre in the mainstream, so if you want to help this grow and increase futurism stoke in the world, you can by joining Patreon.